So in the last video I asked everyone what they wanted to see in the tank next, and a lot of people mentioned stem plants, so I thought, well okay, we'll have a go at stems. So I'll share a bit of information of what I know about stem plants. So I've ordered a few and let's have a look at them. I've got a lot of people mentioning Rotala, so I've got Rotala Rotundafolia, the most basic one. I've also got another two of my favourites, Ludwigia Repens, because I haven't got enough Ludwigia Repens everywhere, but I absolutely love it. So it's an easy plant to get going in your tank. And I also got Bacopa Caroliniana. I think it's got another name, but the kids on the street, as Dustin would say, call it Caroliniana, so that's what the name we're using. We're using all the street names that all the kiddies know. I'll say about these, right, when we get plants they usually come in a pot, or they come like this. And the bit we get's been a mess grown. Now this is Rotala Rotundafolia, which means round leaf. But if the leaves are round, then they've been grown out of water. Now what will happen is, and what you find is, this is why aquascapers put stems behind the rocks and wood by the way. So what happens is you buy your plants and they come like this. Now these have been grown out of water. So what happens is, when we put, so they haven't grown the mechanics to absorb CO2 out of water, because they can grow it out of, they can get the CO2 out of atmosphere. So we put these in our tank like this, we plant it all up and we batter them with lights and ferts, because everyone tells us that, you know, stem plants are water column feeders. So we add our we add it to our water, we add our stem plants, we put all our expensive aqua soils in, tons of nutrients in, batter the stems with lights, and what happens is the plants start transitioning and then they struggle. This is what Rotala Rotundafolia looks like when we get it. And that little sweet pea there is what it looks like when it's grown underwater. There's no round leaf on that. It's a completely different leaf style, and the leaf is designed to deal with underwater living, but these aren't. So we put all our nice stuff in there, our ferts and our substrates and our powerful lights and maybe CO2, and the plant's like, no, I need to convert. So it starts converting and it starts sending shoots out, bits of plant, and then so we get like that much plant in our tank, and then we start growing some more its growth. Now this stuff is never ever going to do well underwater. So what's going to happen is all the leaves are going to drop off, it's going to go bald, it's going to start like disintegrating, breaking down. The stems might start snapping because it doesn't want to live under the water, it never will. And then algae can get hold of that bit and it'll grow up the stem and we'll get an algae breaking out in our tank. So this is my advice. So this is a little bit of Rotala Rotundafolia. What I'm going to do is take this off. I remember when I ordered the dwarf sage, I got these. So what I'm going to do is pop these little lead weights on my plants. So what I'm going to do is pop them on these stems on the thing. I'm going to let them grow out, and then the submerged growth, so the growth that grows out underwater, I'm going to prune that off and plant that, rather than just having this bit that perpetually won't do well. So here's the Ludwigia. I've bunched that up, got my lead weight on it. That's going to go in the tank. There's my Bacopa. Oh, that stuff smells. Oh, that smells amazing. It smells like, I don't know, it smells like some sort of herb. It probably is a herb, isn't it? It smells amazing. Listen to all that crunching, that's not a good sound, is it? So there's my little farm bit of Bacopa. Let's get them in the tank. Luke just jumped off. there's the stem plants added. Now, I've had a bit of a problem. Like, I've been buying forever and not had any luck with Hygrophila pinnafinita. You know what I mean, don't you? So every time I get it, all the leaves strip, and then I end up with a few stems. Now I've cut the stems off and put them in my high-tech tank, see how they get on. But I read that it's actually a epiphyte. It'll grow attached to wood rather than in the soil. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take these stems. With little bits of growth on. Can you see them? Now I'm assuming that's been growing in my water. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know whether you noticed, but the log's gone. I'm going to attach him to the log and see if I can get something out of it. But I'm going to do it a different way. So what I've got here is bonsai wire, waterproof bonsai wire. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the length of this off, and I'm going to wrap it between the nodes on the stem, because I'm not a fan of gluing it. I end up gluing like my fingers to my head, and just, you know, the only thing that doesn't get glued is the plant of the wood. And then I don't like string because I never get it right because it's too flimsy. So I'm going to have a go with this stuff. So what I need is, like, I need enough wire for 4 pieces of this roughly, and then like a little extra, you know, because you're turning it around. So I reckon that should be enough. I've got my snips here. I'll take that much off. There we go. I've researched it, and apparently this does work. It was an idea I had, because bonsai wire is waterproof. So this might be a little tricky on camera. Let's see where the nodes are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get hold of it, give it one turn. I'm just going to pull it tight enough to hold it, and then I'm going to go in between the nodes. Then I'm going to snip that there. So as you can see, can you see? So you can see the nodes there, and then so you crank it in quarters kind of thing, so like that. Not tight, not too tight, just tight enough to hold it in place. I'll just do the 3. Put them in the tank, see how we get on. So that's how we're looking at the moment. We've got the LOD denser over there, we've got the Vallisneria here, we've got the Bacopa, the Ludwigia Repens, Rotala Rotundafolia all hanging around here. I'm going to let them grow out, prune them, and then I'll plant them in the substrate. We've got the pinnafinita on the wood. Might look a bit amateurish, but we'll be able to cut it off in a couple of weeks if it roots to the wood. We'll see how it goes. I'm just not giving up on it, and then with it being a beginner tank, it gives me the room to experiment. And then we've got the Limnophilia sessifolia, seems to be doing really well. Next to it we've got the Hormort. The Hormort's flowing up, it's nearly the same height as the Limnophilia now, and I remember it was about that big 2 weeks ago. And then we've got the water wisteria. I believe the hysteria is water wisteria. Now this hasn't done nothing. I feel like this has been growing out of water. There's different shaped leaves. So what I'm going to do about this is nothing. I'm just going to let it chill, let it rest, let it transition, do what it needs to do. And within time, if I let it do what it needs to do, it'll explode with growth.